Hey everyone, this is Rangadad. Not financial advice, just where I'm looking at the market. Just a quick one for a Saturday morning. Got a bit of work to do. I get back to the family. So, yeah, Bitcoin grinding higher, and it has been a grind. Today was much slower, sort of smaller moves than the last few days. We are into bullish control zone in stochastic momentum at the moment, which is good. BBWP still increasing. I would expect this to hit the extreme levels. And so potentially, I mean, we could just grind up like this for another couple of days yet, but we could get a really volatile day on Sunday or something as well. Bitcoin likes to do some moves over the weekend sometimes. Just it's easier for it with low liquidity. Still got a target around that 82K. Might push through a little bit higher, but that's not a bad target to have. It could also push through a bit lower, to be honest, if you take that as the confirmation level. So 81,700, but somewhere in that region. This area is still ripe for a pullback from that point. Again, as I said in the Discord yesterday for the guys, it's really hard to short Bitcoin when it's doing this. Like, it's a dull market at the moment, I would call it, after such a volatile market over the last, since about then, 28th of October. It's actually been moving quite significantly. But when it's sort of grinding up and to the right like this, it's very hard to short Bitcoin because it does tend to keep moving. Pullbacks are normally a bit more violent than that. So shorter time frames, it looks like it's pulling back into potentially around this 50 EMA, probably a little bit lower. I drew this channel yesterday and shared it with the Discord guys. I drew it when it was around here. It looked like Bitcoin kind of wanted to pull back a bit more. It's a fair chunk of liquidity in around that 75 and change. 75.4 to 75.5 was sort of the call. Obviously, it just ground sideways. We did end up coming back and retesting the bottom of this channel, though. And it is wedging, so a break of this channel will lead to some pretty decent moves. Even if we said, okay, we'll use, let's say it pulls back into here, which I'll show you in a second. That's actually a really good target for it. On this pullback, the only thing that worries me is this wasn't actually a vector candle in here. But it looks like it's running for liquidity at the moment. So let's just say it comes back in here. We use the height of that channel at that point and the breakout potentially somewhere out here. It actually brings you up pretty close to 80K, sorry. So 80K this weekend is a possibility. I think this channel is going to be pretty important. If this channel breaks down, the fact that it seems to like coming back into the 100 EMA on this run, it has been on the 15-minute. That has been a decent EMA to have on the charts. Now it obviously broke through and didn't confirm. That sort of quick turnaround on it on vector candles was always going to lead to more upside. Even this one here, like obviously the US session quite choppy, but yeah, I would expect it to bounce off the bottom of this again, just based on, you know, underlyings are pretty strong still. But yeah, we've got the 50 here. Might find a little bit of resistance at that. It is the mid band of the Bollingers as well. But yeah, I'll show you that liquidity level in a second. So it's going to be pretty critical. Lots of support in this area with the 100 EMA and the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, 1 standard deviation. I think that's still 25 period. I think I actually, yeah. Even the 20 period has been interesting, an interesting level on that. I have, just by default, I had the 20 period on my bybit indicator. But yeah, either or. I think the 20 just picks up these, yeah, it picks up these peaks a little bit better. All right, so close back within that, and yeah, downside is most likely. Could have a little bounce here. It hasn't sort of reconfirmed. Quite often you'll bounce, you'll close inside the short period Bollinger Bands, short standard deviation, and then you'll actually pull back up and retest it and then move to the downside. So this is a pretty violent move at the moment. Might not seem like it too much, but when you actually look at, yeah, I'll show you this. So as of yesterday morning, I was up about 25% after 3 days. Pull back a little bit today, mainly because this morning I went to put a trade on using the mobile, and I put it on MOG, I think, and I freaking typed in 150 MOG or whatever, and turns out it was 6,150 MOG. And as soon as I saw it, one ticket moved like minus $40 or something. So I went, oh shit, I just closed it straight out, took the hit. That's fine. Still been a good week. Potentially make that back up a little bit anyway. But yeah, got to watch that when you're on mobile. I am running a short at the moment, so this level here from a take profit is what I will show you now, which is this level here. I've gone just above that level just because Bitcoin sometimes will turn around just before it hits this stuff. At this point, I don't think it will. It looks like that's what it's heading for. As you can see, there's lots of liquidity just come in at those levels. Yeah, pretty good target for the pullback. That's a fairly standard trade I like doing. I saw it a little late, but I was expecting it to pull up into that Bollinger as well. So actually, I will just pull that back just because I'm on the live. It's not a huge trade anyway. It's only a couple of percent that it's going to give me. I didn't really have time to put it on any of the the shit coins that are probably making the same move at the moment, actually. IBIT. So we had a couple of extra trades here, decent size. Like I've changed it to the 10 largest trades. This is still a pretty decent take profit here. I'm kind of expecting when we do hit the next high, I expect another decent size take profit. It looks like these have been building at the moment. They're building positions for the way up. So I would expect that to continue over the weekend. It's not going to go in one candle, I don't think. But general grind up. Market makers are pretty happy at the moment. There's plenty of volatility. There's plenty of liquidity coming in on both sides of the price action. So yeah, go with that. Just wanted to check. What was it? Just want to have a quick check of financials. There's something brewing which we're getting to key levels on. That was a good buy for them. No big sell today yet, so that's not bad. Just refresh this a little, if it works. Yeah, it takes forever to load for me at the moment. I'll just have a look at ETFs. So decent flows still. $1 billion of inflow just into IBIT today. So across the board inflows. That for a Friday, the fact that people aren't pulling out for the weekend suggests that yeah, we're still going up here. Make sure shorts are quite quick. What was the other thing I was looking at here? So liquidation map. We are pretty overweight to the longs at the moment. Across the board, the 7 days, pretty massive overweight there. So the pullback will be a pretty good one, I think, when it happens. But for the time being, they're just sweeping sort of small ranges, getting the 100x leverage guys out of the market as much as possible before moving it back up to the upside. Let's see. No, not loading. Annoying. Open interest is still increasing as well. I looked at this morning. The open interest stuff still increasing. Little bit of a topping signal before the pullback, but not a hugely strong one. So the speed of this pullback and the target that it's got there for that liquidity, plus the bottom of this channel, I'd expect that to be the area where it pulls up. What else is I going to have a look at? Just going to look at the Traders Reality one. 15 minute. This is a free indicator too. He does a YouTube channel. Interesting way of looking at the market. It's taken me a while of listening to him just to get my head around how he trades, and like this guy does 5 to 10k a day when he's trading, funded accounts and personal accounts and stuff. So good trader. This is the system he uses, and so my system does include sort of thinking about it in a similar way. Take some of his stuff, I take some of other people's stuff, and it's my way of looking at it. But yeah, coming into this 50 EMA here too. Oh, here's got the daily open down here. I don't think we'll get that far. The M3 level is an interesting level. But yeah, the New York session, where did that open? just here. So New York sessions bloody had a pretty big day from bottom to top. It's only what 1,500 to 2,000, something like that. Yeah, look, that's pretty much it really. Expect pullback all the way into this. Maybe a little bounce here. Did I move that? Stop. Yeah, no. That back up. It wants to. Just going to move it to the top of that Bollinger. No biggie if that gets hit. I want it to hit that target though. I'm pretty confident it will. Let's have a look. All right, so yeah, keep an eye on this. This will still update over the weekend. That'll probably give us a pretty good topping signal. It's just going to struggle around the mid band of the Bollingers here a little bit. You do tend to get sort of confirmation around these levels and then a move. If it bounces, you're looking for it to get back to the top of this Bollinger and then potentially move back down to that level. Sometimes you get a straight shot down, not always. Yeah, downside targets, if we break this channel, it's probably going to move pretty quickly into the 200 EMA on the 15-minute. That I'd kind of expect to bounce just because it's the hourly 50 as well, and we haven't touched the hourly 50 since Wednesday my time, so that would have been Tuesday over US time. That's a pretty long time without touching the 1 hour 50. And realistically, on the 1 hour chart, this looks kind of like just it's definitely flagged for a move up. You know, on the hourly, you could draw this quite a bit different, but it's not, in my opinion, it's not as good a line. That's okay. Anyway, purple vector at the moment, that'll probably turn red, I'd say, given we're only halfway through the candle. So if we do pull back all the way within the hour, probably going to see the bounce, I would say. But it'll probably be a grind up still. At this stage, most of the indicators are still pushing to the upside. This MACD that I'm using, this is a change. It looks for changes in trend of the MACD. So anything above 0 is actually MACD is positive. Below 0, the MACD is negative. But changes in slope of this give me an idea of trend. So the trend is actually back to the upside at the moment. Can flip-flop a little bit on this sort of volatility. This is why I don't use these so much on the 1 hour. I just use the 1 hour to really just have a look at where it is in the 1 hour Bollinger Bands, just to see for potential confluence of moves. But 15-minute is looking pretty good, really. We're struggling here too because it is the top of the 1 hour Bollinger Band, 1 standard deviation, 20 period. But whilst it's kind of annoying waiting for 15-minute candles to close, it seems to be the one that works best for me at the moment. Test my patience sometimes. Yeah, decent turn down here on shorter time frames and longer time frames. we are still coming off quite elevated sort of RSI levels. This is the Traders Dynamic Index. This is a long period one here, these lines in here. It's basically an RSI with moving targets. This is a shorter period one. So short term, it's ticked up. Long term, it's ticked up as well. But we are still at elevated levels. So bullish control zone on both of these at the moment. So pullbacks are still likely to be met with buying demand. All right. And this channel's kind of the critical one, I think. I'll leave both these in because it could come down and just fake this one out to that level and then move away. Yeah, potentially pull back up into here and then move back down. I just think that liquidity in there for this volume to move down is just too attractive for price action at the moment. You run down like that, you're expecting something. Wish this would reload though. There could have been a large single order sitting there as well, which CoinAnk tends to show you. But I left this computer on last night and it doesn't like it when I do that with CoinAnk. It's like they got a protection thing on. They block your IP or something after too many hours of not looking at it. Anyway, that's where it's at. That's what I'm looking at. Break above this and 80k is almost a given, and it'll probably move pretty quickly. Qs. So actually, I'll go to. I'm going to do equal weights on these, just because I think they had better levels. So if we just it's not the strongest sort of trend there, but we have definitely at least hit this short-term trend line. You'd pretty well call that hit within reason. So pretty good level for a pullback there. Same thing is present on equal weight S&P 500. Now, this one does go back a little bit further, I think. So something to keep in mind that we are kind of overheated based on historical sort of trends. And there's going to be another kind of wedging up at the moment. Just get rid of that. Anyway, if we break through this, and even if we look at it on the normal S&P 500, I've already had this in there before. So we've broken above this band. This is kind of the target. That 6,100 was the one I was talking about yesterday. We've already tagged the 6,000. I think it could actually push through there, just with the positive gamma on the options. And BBWP's up, momentum's up, bullish smart money indicators up. There's a fair bit of momentum, and the fact that we haven't sold off on a Friday, like no one's taking profit before the weekend. Well, some people would be, but The fact that it's held quite high suggests that we're probably going to try for this level. So 6,100 is definitely a short-term target, probably even a little bit higher next week. And then if we break through that, like if we break through that level, you'd be expecting basically a rip higher. And that would concern me a little bit, because if you get really big rips to the upside and then get a pullback, typically that's a blow off top that leads to bigger market corrections. And given how sus the economy is at the moment, we could see some carnage. But for the time being, we're not seeing that. We're sort of seeing a bit of accumulation around these levels. You know, it's not looking like it will pull back yet. A little bit of an inside day, a little bit of pullback on the equal weight XLY XLP, so discretionary versus staples. But it is pretty overextended too, so we want to see sort of this crushing back with price still going up to be worried. KRE, little bit of profit taking in here, I'd say. But there are a lot of targets to the downside. So home construction still struggling to get through that 50 EMA. The home builders and the home construction are still kind of the indicators that are suggesting we're not super healthy. These are early indicators of a potential recession. This is an early indicator as well. And I kind of expected a little bit better gains in this. So we may even pull back from the 6,100 just based on these not being super strong. Like there's no big push to the upside, suggesting a really robust economy. VIX has been crushed, as you would expect with what's going on. Skew did bounce a little bit, but again, not huge yesterday. It was kind of a flattish day across the board, but you kind of want today, you want skew to break through this level, and it's just not. I don't think. I'd be very surprised if it broke through, based on what we've seen on the charts today. Chinese market pullback. They did release details of that stimulus package too. So again, not markets kind of in two minds about this, but there was a definite sugar rush the other day with Trump victory. But now the market's settling down. It's kind of it looks like it's realizing that it's a bit overheated. Treasuries is going back up. Treasury bonds. That's kind of a good thing. If you're expecting lower interest rates. Plus, it just suggests that the bond market isn't unimpressed with what's going on. Like the bond market is kind of supporting the moves to the upside at the moment, or it's in support of. This one here is just powering on. So that does suggest that more upside to come. As much as it looks like it probably shouldn't in certain parts of the economy and stuff, the market isn't the economy and the economy's the market. We have to remember that. We could even invert again here on tier 10 year. That has happened in the past before recessions and things, so not a huge deal. But the fact that 2-year is favoured again over the 10-year, I mean, that's not a huge difference at the moment. The signs are kind of all over the shop. Copper pulling back again, just recovering a bit of liquidity in here. It wasn't a vector candle as such, but pretty high volume yesterday, so you kind of want to see this bouncing to the upside to agree with the overall economy. Gold, I do kind of still expect gold to pull back a little bit. Gold keeps running, then you got to be a little bit concerned about the rest of the stock market, I think. Silver, yeah, same thing. Oil's pulling back a little. It didn't break below this wick here, so it could just be a recovery of some of the liquidity that was sitting in this wick, but it is turning to the downside as well from bullish control zone on momentum. So yeah, oil's going to be interesting. Sorry about this line here. It's to do with the volume indicator, I think. Yeah, that pullback along with the Chinese market pullback suggests that investors don't really think that the Chinese market is that strong even with a stimulus package. But this could all just be a whole heap of repositioning things as well. Dixie, hard to get a read off that. Not a hell of a lot going there, but pullbacks into this area is still a possibility. Japanese yen's bounced a little. Aussie dollar, again, we need this to settle down and get a sort of a confirmation of a decent trend. The Aussie is still trending up, so it's probably not a bad buy at these levels, but yeah, tough one. Money supply is still increasing. Global liquidity still reasonably high. Still not getting any new reads off these. Don't think. No. Yeah, a little bit of a pullback in percentage of stocks above 50-day average. Again, the market's just sort of softened a little bit. It's just taking a breather by the look of it, except for Tesla. Fucking hell, that would have been a good move on Tesla. Really should start to look at trading normal stocks. Even that move on Tesla's nothing to a move on shitcoins if you get them. Google, yeah. Warned about this the other day. Like, this good move up, but given you got this vector candle here, it did recover this gap. It just wasn't showing me strength that it was going to break this level. So if the rest of the market keeps going, it probably will go as well. But in general, these biggest stocks are kind of, some of them are showing that there's not a huge amount of strength left in the economy, certain parts of the economy anyway. Apple, it's broken this trend line again, but hasn't really confirmed yet. I'd like to see another green day above. Yeah, it's probably going to be, there's no real gaps, there's no real vector candles to recover here, and it did just recover this vector candle here effectively. So it kind of looks like there's a lot of people taking profit at the moment, and we could be setting up for the next move to the downside. Same with Meta. You know, not quite recovered this vector candle yet, but for the most part, it's probably done. So yeah, bit kind of expecting just choppy upwards grind on the market at least the start of next week, and then we'd be looking for pullbacks, or at least sideways for a while. Airbnb got slammed. Good earnings. Oh, slight difference on the earnings. Revenue is up, not by much though, pretty flat. Yeah, that's a big pullback after that. Huge gap to the downside. SMCI. Yeah. There's a lot of sick looking stocks at the moment. Stellantis got slammed. Low volume too. Okay. Stellantis is laying off workers. Huh. There you go. Some of these car manufacturers are really struggling to figure out what's going to happen in the future, closing plants and stuff like that. Yeah, Ford not super strong. The fact that these guys aren't really going to the upside suggests that there could be some issues. But Tesla's obviously fan favorite at the moment, especially given what the relationship between Elon and Trump, I think. All right, this was supposed to be a quick one, so I think that'll do me for today. But have a good weekend, and I'm traveling a bit over the next few weeks, so still try and get a video out each morning, but just have to wait and see. Ethereum's bounced off the value area low, so it could be a good time for a pullback on Ethereum, but that 200 EMA would be the target. It's basically the resistance level that it broke out of as well here, but it could just rip straight through as well. Smaller time frames are going to tell you what's going on there. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Have a good one.